Okay, third time's a charm. All right, so for this factoring brochure, so your role, you are to create a brochure to serve as a guide to factoring polynomials. Well, guide, in other words, an explanation. So you're going to take a sheet of paper like this and just tri-fold it. I just did a quick example. Nothing spectacular at this point. And so the top is going to be covered. I don't care if you do it vertically or horizontally. I've seen some really great ones horizontally as well. Okay, so it doesn't matter, but basically you have 6 sections once you fold it into 3. So you have 3 on the front and 3 on the back. Okay, so like I discussed, first section, you're going to design a cover on the front. Well, it's a factoring brochure, so call it a factoring brochure and then just decorate it however you want. Then on the remaining sections, there's 5 more sections. Each one is going to have the title. So these tell you what each section does. So each section, you're going to have the overall GCF, difference of squares, trinomial, where you can do the shortcut when a is 1, the trinomial, where you have to do the full x method because the number or the coefficient in front of the squared variable is not 1, and then the 4 terms where you do factor by grouping. Oh, and don't forget the 2 trinomials, you both have to use the a times c over b to figure out the 2 numbers that satisfy the product and the sum. Okay. Now, so again, what I mean by that, just a quick, so you've got the cover, you open it up, so here's your section for GCF, here's your section for difference of squares, here's your section for the trinomials with the shortcut, you flip it over, here's your section for the trinomials when a is not 1, in other words, the full x method, and then your 4 terms, which you do factor by grouping, and then of course the cover. So, what does each section have to have? Okay. Well, you're going to have a title. I drew an arrow because these are all the titles of each of the 5 sections. An explanation of how to use the factoring, in other words, the steps. And we've gone through the steps in the previous lessons. They're in the notes. You can look at the videos again if you need. You need 3 examples with various levels of difficulty, showing all your work. So in other words, you need an easy, medium, and a hard problem for each section. Now 2 of the sections, so basically the medium and hard problem, have to have an overall GCF first. I mean, obviously, an overall GCF in the GCF section is going to be true for all 3 examples. Okay. But for these 4, that's more these difference of square, trinomial with the shortcut, trinomial with the full method, and the 4 terms. They're talking about 2 of those examples must include an overall GCF for your medium and hard problems. Okay. And again, show all your work. Now, for these examples, 3 examples per section, so that's 15 examples total. Just go back to old notes or homework to come up with those examples. And you know, they get harder towards the end of the assignment, like the homework. Easy at the beginning, and then in the middle, there's some hard. So choose your 3 examples using that. Now, your final product, it has to be so in other words, your final brochure needs to be neat, organized, accurate. In other words, no mistakes. You have to make sure that, like, for example, your final answer has the overall GCF for the medium and hard problems in front of the final answer, and make sure that they're correct and attractive to the reader. I'm not, going to be grading your artistic ability, but if you do have artistic ability, go crazy. And if you know how to make things attractive by being simple and maybe adding some color, do that. It's up to you. I've seen some really great ones in black and white too. Now, I'm also giving the option of doing a final product digitally and accept them as Google Slides. Now, I put 6 here, but the more I thought about it, because you have to do 3 examples per slide, I'm thinking you might even need like 16. I don't know. You're going to have to figure this out yourself, because think of it. If you're doing a slideshow as a presentation, you probably don't want more than 1 example per slide. So just think of it in terms of what it would look like if you're presenting to the entire class. okay, which we may do. So if you have any questions, let me know. And I'm excited to see. I want you what you guys come up with. I want you to blow me away.